When I say wow, I mean wow. I don't even know how to start this video, really. I don't really know how to start this, so I'm just going to go right into it. Now, who is Cathy Areu? She's a journalist, an author, a former educator who appeared on Fox News in the role of the quote-unquote liberal Sherpa. Now, that was the name of the podcast that she did. And actually, to tell you the truth, I haven't even gotten to that podcast. I didn't even know about that till recently. But I have seen her commentary on Fox News before. Of course, anybody who knows me knows that I'm not a fan of Fox News, but I was a fan of her at the time simply because she is a liberal and a Democrat, and she supported most of the same candidates that I supported in the past: Obama, Hillary, Biden. And just to give a little bit more information that, she got her bachelor's at Florida State University and got her master's at Nova Southeastern University. Now, I have so many crazy thoughts going on right now because this is, number one, I don't even know how I'm just now knowing about this. And apparently this story took place in December of 2022. And I'm surprised that, and I'm reading this according to AP News, former Fox News guest charged with exploiting her mom. And she allegedly stole at least $224,000 from her 88-year-old mother. You know what I'm surprised about? I'm surprised that not only has this happened, or at least allegedly happened, until conviction, which based on this article right here, a conviction is very likely, that I haven't heard any conservative or right wing or Republican figures bring this up or talk about it openly. But then I also have to remember, to be fair, I don't really watch too many conservative sources, but I have people who are conservative who send me stuff all the time that's pro-Republican and anti-Democrat, and they call out stuff like, oh, this person here and Biden said this and Hillary said this, or she did this, and corruption and all this stuff. So they send me these things. I'm surprised nobody brought this up, or at least nobody that I've seen. And again, to be fair, I don't have that many conservatives on my Facebook page. I might have maybe possibly, I don't know, one or two. But they may not have known about this because they probably don't follow her because she's a Democrat. So let's get into it. According to AP News, again, this was December of 2022. I'm just now seeing it. Fort Lauderdale, a former regular guest on Fox News stole at least $224,000 from her 88-year-old mother and unnecessarily put her into a nursing home twice against her will, including once by dragging her mom from her home, Florida authorities said Friday. Cathy Areu, who provided a liberal perspective on several shows, faces numerous felony charges, including kidnapping, exploitation of the elderly, and organized scheme to defraud. Miami-Dade County prosecutors say she falsified documents to take control of her mother's home, took money from her mother's reverse mortgage and savings account, and took out credit cards in her mother's name and then used them for her own benefit. This is a statement by Miami-Dade State Attorney Catherine Fernandez. Every incident of alleged elder exploitation or abuse touches our heart and never fails to shock us. It seems particularly harder to understand when the alleged perpetrator of the exploitation is a daughter or a son of another blood relative. Now, according to Areu's Fox News profile, she's a former contributing editor for the Washington Post magazine, where she conducted political interviews from 2001 to 2012, and in 2001 founded the magazine Catalina. It sought to break stereotypes and show a positive side of the U.S. Hispanic community. She also hosted a podcast called Liberal Sherpa. Fox took down her profile after her arrest became widely known. In 2018, Cathy was a regular unpaid guest on conservative commentator Tucker Carlson's show and appeared on other Fox News shows. In 2020, she sued the network, Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, and others, claiming sexual harassment, but a judge dismissed the suit the following year. Details of her arrest were not released, but the prosecutor said she has been evading authorities since June of 2022, including spending time in Mexico. She was being held without bond Friday at the county jail. Court and jail records do not show if she has an attorney. According to prosecutors, the investigation began in 2019 when state officials received reports that Areu was exploiting her mother. Paperwork had been filed turning over the mother's house to Cathy, but the mother denied the signature was hers. They say Cathy also used a revoked power of attorney to twice place her mother in a nursing home against her will. In the first case, they say she tricked her mother into believing she was being taken to have ice cream with her granddaughters, but was instead taken to a home. When the mother tried to call a friend for help, Cathy allegedly told the staff not to let her use the phone or see visitors. After doctors and officials found the woman competent to make her own decisions and released to go to her home, prosecutors said Cathy and another person dragged her from the house and took her to another facility. Again, the woman was released after she was found competent and asked to go home. Authorities say the investigation is ongoing. You know what? So, again, aside from the context of that story, you know what makes me sad about this? And I'll tell you, at first I was thinking like, you know what? Because I did watch her a little bit in 2017, 2018, maybe a little bit of 2019, like right before this all took place. And I had been wondering, where's she been at? Like, I just thought about it recently. Like, I literally thought about this like earlier this week or like over the weekend or whatever. I was like, where's she been at? Maybe I need to like see some social media profiles or, well, this explains why. This explains why she has been absent for a while. But that's not even the sadder part. The sadder part is this. I was actually going to reach out to her. I was actually going to reach out to her before I saw this story. Why? Because it's 2024. It's an election year. Big presidential election this year, Biden versus Trump. And I know that, you know, had it not been for all this, she would be a key figure in the Biden campaign, whether that be a direct advisor or somebody who just does her podcast promoting him, whatever. Because I have a list of names of people that I want to reach out to, like Lee McGowan, Michael Eric Dyson, quite a few others, top DNC staff, people that work close with the White House, you know, anybody who's a top Democrat who's associated with the Biden-Harris campaign. And now I see this and I'm like, wow. Now, again, the investigation is ongoing. They said we don't know if she has an attorney. And let's just say let me just try to speculate on what the potential penalty for this is going to be if she's convicted, which is very possible. This is like, yeah, this sounds like a conviction is coming sometime soon. Let's see. Here's a few things that I looked up. One of the charges they said was kidnapping. And according to what I see right here, a person who commits the crime of kidnapping is guilty of a felony punishable by imprisonment for life or any term of years or a fine of not more than $50,000 or both. In some okay, so right here it says, what's the lowest sentence for kidnapping? In some jurisdictions, the minimum is 5 years. Aggravated kidnapping is punishable by anywhere from 10, 20, or more years in prison, depending on the jurisdictions. If a victim dies while kidnapped or prior to being returned to safety, the defendant may be charged with aggravated kidnapping. Now, degrees of kidnapping, let me see, first degree kidnapping sentence. Kidnapping in the first degree is a class A felony. If you are convicted, you could spend the rest of your life in prison. The minimum sentence would be 15 to 40 years. Now, I was also looking at the penalty for exploitation of the elderly, and it said the minimum sentence for that is 15 years. So you're talking between, hold on, let me check the one for I should have checked the organized scheme to defraud. Let me check that right quick. I'm sorry, 1 second. You're talking at least 30 years with those two things alone. Penalty for organized scheme to defraud. If the value is $50,000 or above, it is a first-degree felony punishable up to 30 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. Grand theft is also a lesser included offense to this crime. If the prosecutor cannot prove an ongoing scheme to defraud, then the prosecutor can still prosecute you for grand theft. So up to 30 years, but I don't see what the minimum sentence for it is. So up to 30 years, let's say she gets 15 for the kidnapping, 15 for the exploitation, and then 15 for the scheme to defraud. Or no, let's say she does get 30 for the defraud. So 30, 15 and 15 is 30, plus another 30. She could do 60 years. And she's already in her 50s, so essentially that would mean life. So what is she, 51? How old is she right now? I'm sorry, this is unorganized. I'm sorry, I know. How old is she right now? She was born February of 1971. So 2021, that'd be 50, 1, 2, 3. So she's 53 now. So if she does 60 years, I mean, that's life. Now, let's say they gave her 40 years. Okay, well, that brings her to 93. So, honestly, worst case scenario is, yeah, she's pretty much going to do life if convicted. And again, I know that this is very different for my show because, and again, I know this is coming from a biased perspective. I know most of the time it's partisan. You know, you would expect this show to be, okay, 95 to 99% of it is pro-Democrat, anti-Republican. Here's the good things about Democrats, here's bad things. But I mean, hey, with something like this, it has to be talked about. They said if the value is $50,000 or over, she stole $224,000 from her 88-year-old mother. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, what's the motive? Like, I don't get, like, what's the point? Like, why? By the way, I wish I had $224,000. I mean, I'm just stuck on this. Wow. So there you have it. That's what they always say, right? And there we have it. So looks like I won't be reaching out to her. Looks like I can't reach out to her. She's, I think her Twitter page got taken down and her Facebook hasn't been active since about 2017. And I mean, she has an Instagram, but hasn't been on there since apparently 2018, 19, whatever. I had just seen it the other day or yesterday. I think that was maybe 2 days ago. So looks like Cathy Areu is done. And look, Cathy, I mean, shoot, thank you for your perspectives and your liberal views, and thanks for helping out the Democrats where you can. But, I mean, this right here, you're over. It's done. So, but I still got to reach out to the other Democrats on my list. And they said the investigation is ongoing. This was in December of 2022. I tried to see if there was any updates, 2023, 24. I got nothing. So she's really good at playing hide and seek. I can tell you that right now. So that's it. Cathy Areu arrested and charged for kidnapping, exploitation of the elderly, and organized scheme to defraud. You do the time. I'm sorry. I can't think right now. I can't right now. You do the crime. You do the time.